What is going on, everybody? It's your oh so glorious and beloved MaceValor here again today with MVP, the MaceValor podcast, number fucking 2. And today we got more catfishing stories for you. Those are always fantastic. Later on, towards the end, we're gonna give you guys some fucking fantastic relationship advice, and of course, as always, anything and everything I want to fucking talk about coming up. Check it. Yo, what is going on, everybody? I'm recording this on a Thursday. Gonna edit it, get it up going. And yeah, normally I would just do a real quick edit, but I'm probably gonna have to splice this one together because I've got Postmate deliveries and DoorDash that I'm gonna be doing. And wow, Philip DeFranco just put his thing up right when I started recording. So great. So I'm gonna be late on that. Anyway, yeah, notification squad and all that shit. All right, so what am I going to fucking talk about this time, huh? Well, last time we had a great podcast, link in the description down below. Go check that one out. I'm going to get everything set up on SoundCloud so you guys can like listen on the go. Also widens my audience base, I guess, whatever. So here's the crazy thing that I really want to talk about. Like I'm always working on something, but I'm usually reaching a bit much. I kind of go out into areas that are just too much for me. Like I have all these big ideas, but it all comes down to time and how much of my time is being eaten up by these projects that I'm working on. And a lot of them don't come to fruition. So I've tried. It's a struggle. It's a struggle, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys can relate that to kind of dial things back to what's a little bit more realistic. So one of the things I really, really want to touch on today is like ways of making money, right? And this isn't going to be one of the like the Amazon videos or anything like that. This is not going to be like, oh well, here's some tips on how you can gain revenue. No. This is going to be like let's fucking sit down. Let's be honest with one another, and let's discuss like the state of the world that is mainly the internet, the state of the internet and how it is, and how a lot of people generate money and stuff. You really got to put yourself in this mindset of like, okay, so according to the nature of the environment that we are in, this landscape, this wide open platform, how can we make money? So because I don't have like a huge base of subscribers or anything like that, I'm working on content that I actually give a fuck about. For the longest time, I was making videos and rushing them out. I've actually been working on some video game related stuff that I'm actually going to be really proud of by the time I'm done with it. There's a lot of writing involved, and by the time I'm done writing I'm actually writing, scripting, all that shit. I'm taking time to kind of like record footage and stuff, and I'm going to get all that shit going. Like there's a lot of things I want to be able to do. There's this huge scope of shit that I want to be able to do, and a huge chunk of that requires money. But am I comfortable where I'm at now? Yes, I am. So why rush things? It's a marathon, not a race. And because of that, I'm taking my time with things. And I think that you guys are really going to like it. They're going to be long form factor video game analysis videos. Not so much critiques. I love the critique videos. I love to hear about the ins and outs and people's opinions on how different mechanics work. More so, I'm going to do an analysis from my perspective. And just for the people listening to the podcast, what I'm working on right now is Divinity Original Sin. Enhanced edition, because I actually really like isometric RPGs. I like RPGs in general. It's like kind of my thing, but I'm not vocal about that enough in my creative. I don't make enough content about that. I just make content about me bitching about stuff that I should take a little bit more time to actually look into, which we will touch on in just a minute. But so going back to the whole revenue thing. How can I create revenue easy, seamlessly? And I've been looking at different ideas and stuff on YouTube. That's one thing that I definitely recommend to people is to definitely check out different people's opinions on different ways to gain money. So how am I going to gain money without having to fork out money to begin with? Here's how we're going to do it. So I've created a Facebook page Link in the description. It's called Dankest Memes with a Z because it's edgy like that. And Dankest Memes, it's literally, I have it set up to where it's like every hour it's just fucking pumping out memes. Like I have all my posts scheduled, and it's essentially the garbage fire cancerous content that that is really the shit that's always annoyed me. Now I've got my own moral and obviously legal boundaries I have to go, and I can't use anything that like essentially is copyright. And I can't post something that could eventually lead back to me getting in trouble. So it has to kind of be the fair use thing. More not just transformative, but it just has to be stuff that's like, oh, it's whatever. And memes are a fantastic approach because there are so many of them out there, and it's just a picture with fucking text on it. That's it. And I came up with the reason why I wanted to make this Facebook group or this page to specify to be done with memes is because there's been so many times, like even I've fucking fallen victim to it, where I'll be scrolling and I'll be scrolling through Facebook, and then I'm like, oh shit, oh look at that, oh that's funny, and then it's just a rabbit hole that you go down. It's just like with YouTube, like my recommendations lately have turned to ass because I've been looking at all this generating revenue stuff, and then it leads to this other video that has nothing to do with the video that I searched, but I check it out, and then it leads me down that rabbit hole. So now my entire recommendations are things that I don't normally watch, and it's kind of fucked me as a consumer of YouTube content to where it's like now I have to rely just on my subscriptions, and I love the recommendations because you can kind of find new stuff. There's a lot of creators out there that I really enjoy that I have found through just my home feed, and now that's kind of turned to ass now. Most of it's just Judge Judy clips and just news reports of weird shit going on in the States and shit like that. So that's kind of fucked me. But it really did make me think. This mindless dribble, this stupid shit, like the kind of shit that your grandma shares with you and stuff. The cancerous content that is, oh, like and share and give an amen. Oh, the most gratuitous one, the one that's just the fucking worst, is when you take an individual and, like, for example, my aunt recently shared this. It was a picture of two people with Down syndrome. And obviously, you could tell they had Down syndrome from the picture, not just from the fact that it said it in the post, but there's two people with Down syndrome and they're holding each other and like, oh, we're in love. And then the caption on it was, we've been together for 2 years. We love each other so much, but no one will congratulate us because we have Down syndrome. Huh. And you notice that a lot of the people, it's the same thing with it's like the pictures where it's like some kid or baby, which is like the worst for me. I can't even look at that shit because kids are my soft spot. Where some kid got fucked up in a fucking war-torn country or something like that. And either it will say, oh, like and share and give an amen, and then people just fucking just go crazy with it. Or Mark Zuckerberg said he'll donate $1 for every like and share. It's just this it's this stupid fucking it's hard to even describe. It's just fucking bad. But it gets likes, it gets shares. And there's a way to make money off of that. There's a way to make money off of reaching people. So my thing was, if I'm going to get a huge following of people, what's the easiest way to do that? The most mindless content that's on the internet that takes little to no effort, and that's fucking memes. Obviously, I'm not creating them, but I am sharing them. And I am just post after post after post of these memes. And the goal is to gain an audience with that. I've got everything set up. I've got a schedule going, and now I'm on the phase of gaining viewers. So obviously I'm going to plug that here for you guys, but my main way of doing it is I've joined all these groups on Facebook. You go to Facebook, search groups, and there's all these different groups, and I've just joined. Like, now my Facebook is fucked up. I'm going to get kicked out of these groups eventually because I'm essentially going to be promoting Dankest Memes, but through Dankest Memes, through these groups, I will promote Dankest Memes, get a following there, and then as long as I keep the scheduled content up, it'll just cascade. And the cool thing is, every time it's shared, or every time or someone likes that picture, every time someone likes or shares that meme or whatever, it gives me an option to invite that person to join the group. So with the few people that do follow it, that like and share the stuff, and then their friends find it and they like and share it, but they're not invited to the page, I then invite them to the page to like the page, and then it kind of cascades from there. And then you kind of get a following, right? So how do I make money from this? What's my plan to make money from this? Well, once there's a large group of people, I've also got to set up like I'm trying to do this as cheaply as possible. Now I could do like a WordPress page, set up a free website, and then kind of like get people to go to the website and everything from there, from Dank Memes. But instead, I'm going to do Squarespace, because Squarespace has a very well integrated um, e-commerce area of it. So it's a very simple way for me to sell products. And essentially what I'm going to be selling are like bumper stickers and shit like that. Just things that I can get high volume for low cost. And essentially I'm going to just be taking memes and turning them into bumper stickers. Not exactly like that, not like I'm printing it out and making it a sticker. That is my own creative thing, is I'm going to take popular memes, and then through my own creativity, make my own in Photoshop stickers, templates, and stuff, and send them off and have bumper stickers and shit made. That's the start off. Excuse me. I don't want to think too big. I don't want to go too far. But that's my plan. Make the page, get a following, and then direct that following to buy my merch. Jake Paul, the Paul brothers. That's essentially what they do, but they do it in a much different way. There's a lot of overhead in what they do. There's a lot of time, effort, and all this shit that goes into it. With what I'm doing, it works for me and my resources on a much smaller scale. Now, there's a lot of different things out there you can utilize to kind of get like this automated thing to where you don't even have to fuck with it. But the thing that I'm doing is, because I'm scheduling each and every post out, while it might be tedious on my end, I can get a day's worth of posts out within 30 minutes. A post every hour, that's 24 posts. So I post up a meme, it's scheduled to go, and then it automatically goes. But I have to write something. A lot of the free ones that can, well, they're not free, but the ones that are automated that you can pay for that will do it online, it just schedules the post. It doesn't attach anything to it. It's meant to be super, super, super quick. But for me, I kind of need that audience engagement. So I have to type like, "Oh, that's funny, tag a friend," or some shit like that. So that's the project outside of the creative stuff that I've been working on. Like I said, I'm working on the Divinity 2. No, not Divinity 2. I would love to work on Divinity 2, but I need to finish up the first game. So I'm working on the Enhanced Edition analysis. Now, of course, it's an analysis, but the angle that I take on it is very it's very different. It's just solely my playthrough in what I found from it, which I guess a lot of videos are pretty much like that. But I'm not. There's a huge TLDR aspect to it. I'm not going to go super in depth to the story because it's so fucking big. But I give you guys the cliff notes. Let me get a drink. Delicious. I'm addicted to these things. New Year's resolution was to quit rock stars. That lasted about 3-4 days. All right, now I gotta. So, since I'm on the clock, there's a good chance I'll have to leave, but it's fine. For DoorDash, for Postmates, I'm gonna take any order. For DoorDash, unless I see a minimum of $8 guaranteed, then I'm not taking it. I need $8 or more. Also, it has to be within a certain boundary. Like there was one earlier for $9, but I didn't take it because they wanted me to go. Like the trip was like 13 miles, and I'm like, that's no, that's not happening. That is not happening. So catfish. Let's talk about catfish. So I had that video about me being catfished up. It's still up, obviously. Oh, wait, before I actually get into so it's official. I'm no longer a YouTube partner because I don't have 1,000 subscribers. My watch time is fucking fantastic. And actually, speaking of watch time, the average viewer duration was 20% of the last video. So it was about 15, 20 minutes, which was great for the last podcast I did. So it didn't get a whole lot of views, but the watch time was ridiculous. I thought that if I would make this podcast, that people would just not like, you would have my core audience that would pretty much watch the bulk of it, but then the few people that found it would probably watch like a minute or two. But the way my videos are set up, my subscribers actually don't watch the majority of my content. The majority of the people that look at my content comes from the recommended feed. So that is very interesting that the the podcast that I uploaded last time, the majority of people that watched it were not my subscribers, and those people watched a good chunk of it, a good portion of it. So that's really fucking badass. I think mainly because Gig Stacker was in it, so shout out to fucking him. Anyway, so where am I going with this? With the whole catfish thing? Let's definitely touch on that. Years ago, when I was living in New York, I had I came up with this idea one weekend, and is I'm gonna create a Plenty of Fish account, but I'm gonna be a girl. Now you've seen people do that before, where like they kind of like fuck with people, like they'll put like, oh, my profile, I'm a girl, and they'll fill it out as whatever. But me, like, one of the mindless things that I'll watch on YouTube that I get a kick out of every single time is like the Chris Hansen shit. Because the people that are caught up in that shit are some of the most diabolically evil pieces of fucking human trash on the planet. Pedophiles are the fucking worst. So seeing this shit got me thinking. I'm like, all right, so I'm gonna make this page. I'm gonna make this girl. So took some pictures I found on Google, made this page, and you would not believe, like, after it going live, like, it was hundreds, like, within a couple hours, just pages and pages, like, of so many messages, and they were essentially all the same. It's like, oh, hey, you look cute, what's going on? And then the few that I did talk to, because you have to pick out the choice ones. This was a time where I wasn't recording anything, so obviously I don't have screenshots of it, but what happened was a lot of people were just down to meet this chick. And so I was like, all right, let me see how many of them I can get together. And the idea was I didn't live far away from a Walmart. So I was like, oh, all right, we'll meet at a public place. And here's the caveat. In the profile, she obviously said she was like 19. But in the messages, I was like, yeah, it won't let me make an account unless I'm 18 or plus. But I'm really only 17. I'm really only 16 or whatever. Now, here's the crazy part. I lived in Evans Mills, which is right outside of Fort Drum. The vast majority of people that contacted me were soldiers. The vast majority of guys that showed up were people in the military. And what got me was their rank. These were not like privates and shit. A lot of these guys that came up were older men that I found these profiles on. Like, these were like staff sergeants and shit. So, I mean, I didn't confront them or anything like that. I didn't want to fuck with that, you know. It's like, God forbid, like, I find this E6. I'm like, yo, what's going on, man? Yeah, that girl that you're talking to, that's me. What the fuck are you doing here? Because then they could have come up with fucking anything. I mean, had I thought about it, I could have fucking taken screenshots and shit, and then they showed up, and I probably could have had a camera and recorded it. And if I did get heat from it, I could have been like, yeah, well, why is your fucking NCO doing this shit, huh? Yeah, explain that, top. So, I mean, I could have just fucking run with it, but obviously I didn't want to fuck with my position in the army at the time. At least that's the paranoia that was going through my head. So eventually I did actually go to Walmart and watch these guys show up, and I would just sit in the car and just text them like, oh, I'm inside, can you come in and meet me, or whatever. And they did not want to get out of their car. That's the thing I noticed, is that none of them would go into the public area. No, like, I don't know if it was, I don't know why. It could have been the paranoia that they had, or something, but they just did not want to leave their vehicle to go meet this mystery person. And I understand the whole lonely guy aspect, you know, but I think it's because of the fact that I stated that she was underage. It's that part. There's a YouTuber that, God, I wish I could remember his name. I watched a Vice documentary on him. This Canadian guy that went hardcore. Like, he talked to these guys for long periods of time, and then finally like arranged a meetup. And these guys would drive hours to go meet these guys, and then he would confront them. And these guys always like a lot, like they always pleaded for the videos not to go up, and it's just fucking sad. And the worst part is a lot of these guys have kids themselves, and it's like, dude, You're a piece of shit. Holy fuck. But that's me catfishing people essentially. There was no of the meetup. Didn't do none of that. You know what I'm fucking sick of though? I'm sick of fast food places fucking up my order, which happens all the time. I don't think any of us are immune to that reality. None of us don't have that happen. It happens all the time. And it's very frustrating. Like, how clear do I need to be? And a lot of times when I go get fast food, I literally just go get the dollar drinks from McDonald's. Because as I've said before, I mean, that's the deal, right? Anyway, I'm not going to get into the mathematics of it. Technically, it's not because at other places their larges are bigger sizes, so it might cost more, but you're actually getting far more for the money spent. But whatever, $1 for my large drink, McDonald's, I'm good with. I usually, for me and my girlfriend, I go get my Coke and I get her Diet Coke, and that's usually what I get. They fuck up her drink all the time. I always have to taste it. And I really can't tell the difference unless I sit there and actually drink it. But just taking a sip, I can't tell the difference. But I I've worked in the food industry before. It's not that fucking difficult, okay? Orders are relatively. I understand it gets hectic. It gets quick. You know? It gets fucking busy. I get it. That's no excuse for my order to be completely fucked. Anyway, I digress. So, as some of you might know at this point in the video, I will now talk about the whole Amazon thing. Yeah. So I did get terminated, and actually, they did send me an email today. I need to send back proof to them. I don't know how. Your app had difficulty. Your guys' technical support never emailed me back. So, what do you want me to say? I've already sent you guys the emails of me sending the tech support about the app not allowing me to cancel. But whatever, I gotta email them back today, and then we will see what happens from there. It's been an interesting week. A lot of it's been spent on the computer, either playing games, taking notes, all that jazz. It's interesting because sometimes I do find myself getting so like the divinity thing. I'll be working on it, and it's like taking the time I like to spend to play video games and then turning it into work. It takes away from the fun of it being video games, which maybe I need to readjust some stuff. I don't know. Like I'll see in the future once I'm finished with this one. Divinity 2 is obviously the one that I'm working on the most. But Divinity Original Sin. Why do I keep saying Divinity 2? Anyway, next week's podcast. Also, I'm gonna do a breakdown of all my Patreon money and exactly where it's going. Because one of the things about joining me on Patreon, and this isn't like my plug-in to say join my Patreon. This is just me describing a thing about my Patreon, and that is the fact that every dollar that goes in there is accounted for. So after PayPal takes out their fees and all that, not PayPal. Well, I guess if I'm streaming and I get a donation, then PayPal's fees. But so donations through Patreon at the end of the month, as part of the podcast, I say, hey, this is exactly how much we got this month. This is where that money is going to go. And then if I do utilize that money, I then provide a receipt and I show my viewers, hey, this is where your money went. It holds me accountable to, make sure that content or that my content is being improved by the donations and it's not just going in my pocket or whatever. It's mainly an incentive for the viewer to know that, hey, if you enjoy my content and you want to see more, your donation will be utilized for production quality, obviously. And not a lot of creators do that. They just, here's my Patreon, throw some money at me, and then I promise it'll go to the right place. And it's very specific. Until a certain dollar amount, I'm not gonna take a cut for myself, basically. There's a certain threshold that I would have to make with the Patreon stuff in order to no longer have to do the DoorDash, Postmates, all that shit. Once I meet that threshold, then yeah, my whole thing is just content creation because I will cut myself a cut from there. But I don't want to do that yet or anytime fucking soon because of shit. It's hard for me to hold down a regular job because of a child support issue that I have. My long story short, my ex had, with her boyfriend, went and filed some paperwork. They filed some shit that said that I never pay child support. So at Riverside County was like, okay, well, we'll take care of you guys and we'll get you your child support. So they paid benefits to them, to my ex, and I had to flip the bill plus interest. And basically, I was working HVAC, and then my bank account was levied, and I was like, what the fuck? So my bank account was levied, my money in it was taken, seized by the fucking Riverside, and then all my paychecks I had to cash from that point on while working there, and it made it really hard because even trying to get a job was so difficult because it had to pay a certain threshold because they would garnish so much of my wages because according to Riverside, I had to backdate child support to when he was born. So he was born in 2009. So they backdated the child support all the way back then. But we were married up until 2012. And I have on record of paying child support. Like, it's like we had it in our divorce decree that the payments would be just between the two of us. We have had some amendments since then, mainly because, well, I got out of the Army, so the money needs to go down because the Army mandates you pay a certain amount. When we were married, the Army said you have to pay child support and spousal support. We got divorced, so the Army required that I pay less. So when I would send her the child support that I owed her after we got divorced, she's like, "Well, where's the rest of it?" It's like I'm not supposed to pay that much anymore. And there was a shitstorm from that. And then it turned into me paying even less once I got out of the military because I was unemployed. And it's like, look, if he does need extra, of course, just let me know. I'll take care of him. I'll get some clothes, all that shit. But I can't pay more if I'm not making money, right? You can't expect me to pay you $600 a month. I'm not making close to $4,000 a month anymore, you know? And it's just this whole thing where, it's very easy for the guy to get screwed over from how our legal system is set up. I don't want to sit here and be like one of those guys saying it's legally designed that men will get screwed over by women in child support case. No, it's not. It's the way it's set up. It's supposed to be in the favor of the better parents, pending what the actual situation is. It's a case by case basis. Now, do women hold a level of favor historically? Absolutely. Yes, they fucking do. However, if you actually understand the law and how shit works, you can fix things. Not a problem. I'm not gonna get into that thing. I just want to preface and I just want to say I understand that it's not as drastic as some people make it seem to be, even though the reality of it, the majority of the time is. But if you know your shit, you can protect yourself. I'm not one of those deadbeat dads. I do feel like it from time to time. I'm not gonna lie. It's rough living in another state and basically making enough money each month to take care of me, my girlfriend, and our son. So, like, the extra money that I would like to drive all the way out to California, drive the 5 miles, or 5 hours, 5 miles, that'd be a dream, to drive the 5 hours, I would love to do that, like, every weekend. I would totally be down for it. It's just not realistic. So, but we'll fucking see what happens, right? Day by day, time by time. Now, YouTube has always like kind of been this thing that I've liked, but I've come to the realization that because time is such a fucking thing. Time and time management such a thing, and I need to take care of shit. It's like I don't even you have to get to that point where it's like, I'm not a good this. This is what I want to be, but I'm not good at it. I have to admit that I'm not good at it. Can I get good at it? Yeah, of course I can. But like, I'm not a great cameraman. I've never have been, and I probably never will be. I'm the vision guy. If I were to work on any project, I would be doing like the rough edits and stuff like that. But there's still so much for me to learn. If I was streaming last night, and part of my stream was me doing a Photoshop tutorial, and could I have gone longer on it? Yeah, I could have spent more time on that Photoshop thing that I was doing. I was watching a tutorial while working on a project, but then it got to a certain point in the video to where what it wanted me to do would have taken so much tedious time. I don't have time for that. So I literally found like a little thing online for what I was trying to do a logo for the dankest memes thing I was telling you about. But I had a very particular vision of that in mind. So I just said fuck it, and I went to this website, and it just basically did what I wanted it to do for me. Not exactly what I wanted, obviously, but it was basically more than close enough to what I was looking for. So that's basically where I'm at. It's like, if there's an easier, quicker way, of course I'll do it. But mainly for that, the whole premise of that was setting up the Facebook page and just to kind of live stream and show just how quick you can do it and how little time and effort it takes to do this. Let's talk marketing. Marketing it's basically what I went to school for. I went to school in communications to do public relations. I'm a people person. I'm a problem solver. So those are the kind of things I want to do as a career. Like, I want to do the whole suit and tie thing, go to work, get these big projects and clients and stuff, and just go with it. Well, actually, I didn't want to work at a PR firm. I wanted to be in a PR position at an established company. That's what I thought would be the fucking best. Shit, son. What do we got? I might have to put this one on hold. Is it? No. Oh, shit. Damn it. No. It's Postmates. Where's it at? All right. We're going to cut here, and I'll be back. All right, everyone. I'm back after doing a few Postmates deliveries. Marketing. So that's what I went to school for, right? I wanted to, my dream was to do PR and be involved in the video game industry. That was the dream. But it never flourished, obviously. And the hardest part about doing the whole marketing thing was getting a job in marketing. You got to start somewhere. And, I was in college. I was like, I'll do an internship. Internship sounds great. Run some coffee for some people, no problem. And I did have one internship, but I left for a multitude of different reasons, mainly because I was not getting paid. Was the main one. It was 20 minutes away from where I lived at the time. So getting there wasn't the problem. I had a vehicle and all that jazz. I'm glad I left when I did, because the car I had at the time, within 2 weeks of me leaving there, it broke down completely. Anyway, so what ended up happening when I worked there, the place is called Encore. And it was a marketing company, but the number one thing that I learned was how useless a lot of these marketing firms are. Now, there was the Encore, which was the marketing aspect of it, which to a certain degree, fantastic. Great company. I would encourage anyone to go work there. The useless part that I saw was, I guess, some of their clients were like real estate agents and stuff. And nowadays, you definitely want to utilize social media, but hiring a marketing company to take over your social media page for a company like a real estate company, and you're essentially using them to give you traffic and all this stuff to get likes and shares and all that jazz, it's fruitless. It truly is fruitless, because likes and shares don't equal out to people buying a fucking house. If they would have utilized the same marketing company for video production, hell yeah, because that video on the social media platform will definitely get people interested in what you're doing. But and it was something that they offered, but they also offered people, like, hey, we can either, get you a video set up, tours of your different properties and all that, or we can manage your social media page. And some of their clients were like that while I was there. But holy shit, dude. I I just thought that because I didn't know a whole lot at the time. Actually, I learned more trying to market my own YouTube channel than I ever learned in college. It's ridiculous how much you can learn outside of traditional education. Anyway, so but that was it was fun while it lasted. It wasn't. I didn't learn a lot from actually working there. A lot of the things that they had me do had to do with their nonprofit, and I'm not going to get into that this time around on my opinion on that. But the problem that I had working there is I didn't learn anything. They had me. I had a desk, cubicle, all that jazz. There was someone I was supposed to be working with, and nothing was ever clear. They would tell me I had to do something to kind of get something going. Perfect. Yes, I can do that. But what specifically do you need me to do? Like they had this thing called MailChimp for, people that are subscribed to their newsletters and stuff, and they wanted me to help create their newsletter. And I'm going through looking at all these different newsletters, trying to think of something that's really cool. And they want a lot of articles. That the girl that was helping coach me kept saying, "Oh, we need articles and stuff that are kind of related to what we're doing. So when we give it our newsletter, it's all like in the same. It's all in the same vein. It's all in the same, ecosystem. Like people that are here for this nonprofit, they're gonna." Hold on, I'm sorry. I have to. She's not gonna stop texting me. So I'll text her back. What do you want? When do you want me to? Busy. Whenever. Okay. Anyway, sorry about that. Every time I come in here to work. Every time. All right, so. Fuck. I just lost my train of thought. Jesus. I tell people when I come in here, don't, if you really need something, but if it's a question about dinner. Ah, where is I? Okay, sorry about that. that really fucked me up. I can't even talking about Encore and marketing. Whatever. They want me to do these stupid fucking newsletters, right? So I'm trying to do it and get articles related to the nonprofit. And then, structure them, link to them, put them together for the newsletter. I'm like, okay, cool. And then every time I do it and I show the girls, like, that's not what we want. We kind of want articles that are like, and can you give me an example? Like, oh, well, I'm kind of busy doing my thing over here. And she was constantly like either messing, like, because you could see her computer for us. And she's like either doing something not related to work or she was like fucking calling her mom and shit. Like, I honestly, like, not to say that people there didn't work, but I did not see that this particular person work as hard as like the graphic designers, the video editors, like shit like that. Like those people I saw were constantly on the grind. They could take their time out to have fun, which is fine. This particular person who was doing social media, I just hardly ever saw her do anything. Just gotta say it. Just gotta fucking say it. Anyway, yeah, so it was difficult working there because I'm working there as an intern and I'm there to kind of like, well, what's marketing all about? Like, I kind of need to know, like, what am I going to be doing? And it was just so fucking pointless. Like, it was. I probably should have gone in there for video editing or something like that, video production, something more up my alley. But instead, the whole marketing thing that I saw of the day-to-day grind that I would be doing was in, social media and all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, that's what I want to do eventually. I want to get to the point where I'm the one in charge of that shit. Like I'm the PR guy. So obviously you got to start somewhere. And so for what it was worth, I was okay with it. And I was thinking I was going to learn, but I really didn't learn shit when I was working there. Met some people. They were great. I want to say I created friendships to a certain degree. I did, but for the most part, I didn't. Um, that's on me. These are people I could have actually hung out with, but didn't, didn't, and that's on me. Cool people though, except for that one girl that was supposed to help train me, but she didn't. So, but whatever. So dealing with that, I eventually left because I could not. I literally could not afford the gas because I'm going to this place and I was working 3 days a week, and I was working 3 days a week. My time off from school, didn't learn anything about the field that I was trying to go into, and it just got to the point where it's like I can't do it, can't do it. So, and I wasn't getting fucking paid. And my thing with internships has always been that, to a degree, yeah, like when done properly, they do help people learn a certain craft, a certain skill, a certain trade. But when done incorrectly, it's just free labor, which the majority of internships are structured as free labor. So, moving to Vegas and trying to get a job in marketing, they were all sales jobs. They were either multi-level marketing jobs or door-to-door sales jobs. That would, I went into these fucking places and did these interviews, and the actual job that they described online or on ZipRecruiter or Indeed, when you go in there, like they keep saying it's marketing, it's marketing, it's marketing. But what am I going to be doing every day? Do I have a desk? Do you want me to talk with clients? Do you want me to make press releases? Do you want me to do social media posts? What is it that I'm doing? Oh, well, we have different routes that we send you on, and you're going to talk face to face with our clients, our potential customers. Well, our clients, they wouldn't say customers. So a lot of these jobs out in Vegas, they were sales jobs, and you only would make commission, and you weren't compensated time for lunch. You weren't compensated, which is, that's whatever, but you weren't compensated your gas mileage because you have to use your own car. You have to go to these places. You go door to door to door based upon their data sheet. It was CenturyLink. These marketing companies were sales companies for CenturyLink. CenturyLink wouldn't send their own people out. They would hire third parties, like these companies I would go to, these marketing companies, and they weren't really marketing companies. They were sales companies. They hire a shitload of fucking people, send them out, and get people to sale. But the way they get you into the job is, well, we're a leadership team. Like we want everyone here to eventually own their own, like have their own office, and branch our brand out. So you start like, yeah, yes, you're doing door to door sales, but based upon how motivated you are, that's how they get you. They say how motivated you are, how much you sell, and the commission was really low. It was like 5%, which is relatively. You have to sell a shitload of these packages to people, and like in good conscience, I'm a horrible fucking salesman. Now, if I were to sell my own product, like this dank memes thing, I'm selling something that, like, all right, well, this is a product that I'm in control of. I have no problem trying to push that. I have no problem trying to sell that. But if I'm going like an HVAC, am I going to upsell a customer something that they do not need for a system that could benefit from it potentially, or just doesn't? The majority of things that I saw in HVAC, the customer did not need the thing that I would be designed to sell them. So being a technician in residential is all sales. It's 30% actual technical work. I mean, technically 100% of your job is really about the system, but let's be fucking real. How are you going to get paid at the end of the day? The vast majority of your job, the vast majority of your fucking livelihood revolves around sales, and that's a fucking problem for me. So doing sales as marketing, doing this marketing, I just couldn't do it. And you see that shit all the fucking time. These multi-level marketing scams. It Works is one of them. I did a podcast. Link in the description down below. The very first one I did back when this channel was called Unfiltered. That shit, dude, irritated the fuck out of me. The whole multi-level marketing thing. The real way that you make money is based upon, how many people you bring into the program. The whole pyramid scheme thing. The whole pyramid scheme. There's a friend I have on Facebook, and it's like we have those friends on Facebook that we just keep them around just because we're legitimately interested in their lives, in this evolution. And I have no problems with this person. I think she's a cool chick. However, some of the things that she posts, I find entertaining. And I did have a conversation with her not too long ago, and she was involved in this pyramid scheme. This whole thing to where you join this group and you put in like what $100 or some shit, and then you share out, and then there's like a stack. It's literally a pyramid, and you kind of go up this stack, and then eventually you get to the point where you're like, okay, now it's my turn. So I've come in, put in money, right? And the person above me is finally going to get paid out. And then after so many tiers up, and so it's been shared out so many times for the people below you, you get so many people below you involved in the same thing, then you finally get paid. The shit doesn't work. The vast majority of people aren't going to contribute into something like that. It's like this chain letter shit. And I don't know if she said in a message, I was like, oh, you said this whole business opportunity way to make money, $800. Can you tell me more about that? I'm kind of interested. And it wasn't like I wanted to be a part of it. I was interested in what the fuck she was talking about. And she broke it down. It's like, oh, it's a pyramid scheme. And she's like, exactly. And I guess her perspective of what a pyramid scheme is, isn't from the connotation that most people have, where it's this fucking scam. But that's what it was. It's a fucking scam. And you see those on Facebook a lot. You see videos and pictures of people, or live. Like I've been on Facebook, and people have shared out like live streams of people like just counting money and throwing it into like a UPS box and be like, "Yep, someone that shares or comments this video is gonna get all this," and like it's just a feed of people like touching money and saying, "Yeah, like, comment down below. We're gonna send some of you people this box of money." And I'm thinking, no one's gonna get that fucking box. It's just a way to promote the page. Because that all filters into the fact that once a page hits so many likes and shit, it becomes valuable. When it has a level of reach, it becomes valuable. And you could sell the page. You could sell the administrative rights to the page, and then you get the page off of you and it belongs to someone else. So that's essentially how a lot of that shit works. That's one way you can really make money. And if dank memes were to take off to the level to where I could literally get rid of it, I would get rid of it in a fucking heartbeat, because it's really no use or benefit to me, other than unless I can generate revenue by putting an external link to a website to sell merch. But besides that, I would just do it for a fucking payout at the end of the day. You got 10,000 people on it, and it's like, what, it took me how long to do that? Like about a month, get 10,000 people on board. Someone's like, hey, I'll give you $200 for this Facebook page. Fucking sold. Because you could easily just fucking make a new one and do it again. It's not, and then you could take like a small portion of that $200. Like, let's say you take $50, put it into fucking advertisement, target your advertisement appropriately, and then fucking get a shitload more likes and recycle it again, just do it quicker. I mean, when you really break it down, it's like, it's really easy. There's a lot of things in this world that are really easy to make money and shit. Now, would I prefer traditional employment? Well, yeah, of course I would. I mean, I work well with people. I don't like customers though. That's why I couldn't do retail. I couldn't do like tech support or anything like that. Um, like doing these deliveries, it's like I don't like, very, very rarely do I ever have an issue with a customer. I just deliver the shit and that's it. I make sure they have all their stuff. It's done. It's whatever. It's just a delivery thing. Working at Target or Walmart or something like that, or even fucking GameStop, which I have issues with GameStop as a company, but honestly, I wouldn't mind working there. But I do have issues dealing with other people, because as a consumer, I have been irritated by employees before. So what I do though, because yeah, I'm someone that's been irritated with like I've been irritated with Postmates. I've been like every time I have to deal with a support agency or something like that with a company, I always inform the person. I don't say you, I say the name of the company, because it's not that person on the phone's fault. They're just doing their fucking job. So it's hard to like ease in that anger and just like, okay, yes. I am allowed to be angry. I'm allowed to be upset as a consumer. But the only way I'm going to get my problem handled and resolved is if I properly address who is really at fault. If I'm mad at Postmates when I'm on the phone with Postmates, I say Postmates. I don't say you. I don't put the person that's trying to fucking help me at fault for the issue that I have. I put the company at fault. And then I always remind them, I know I'm upset. It's not you. It's just this whole issue. What can you do for me? It's the company that pissed me off, not you. You're doing your job and you're doing a great job. I'm just flustered. Is there any way you can give me a hand with this? I always do that, and I'm telling you, like I'm not saying you have to call up support and you're got like a huge issue and you have to be like, oh hi, how's it going? Yeah, my shit's all messed up. Is there any way you can help? No, you don't have to be nice. You can be mad, you can be angry, you can be pissed off, but utilize it in the way that benefits you. If you're gonna be pissed off at the company. Do not be pissed off at Joe Schmo on the fucking phone, because it's not his fucking fault that you have a problem. Did the company fuck up? Yeah, probably. But how is that Joe Schmo's fault? It's not. You got to humanize people. You gotta bring out the humanity in yourself, and with them, you got to make some sort of connection. That's what MaceValor says. Make a connection with other human beings. Be pissed off all you want, but don't be an asshole. Oh my God. So I did these Postmate deliveries. They went relatively quick. Interesting thing, I stated before, you don't get to see the tips, which I've talked about tips way too many fucking times on this channel. But I like to see them ahead of time would be nice, just so I can kind of gauge like, all right, so should I be doing more deliveries? Can I take a little bit of time off right now and do some later? I just get to the point with Postmates, I just leave it on, and if something comes up, I just go do it. Postmates is one of those things where if an order comes up, I just go do it. I just leave it on all day, every day. And like I said, that keeps me close to home, and I love that. I was supposed to talk about some other shit. Because I had to leave and because I had that brain fart because of that whole text message saying, well, I guess relationship advice. I said I would put that towards the end. What can I say, dude? All right, well, check this out. Here's what we're going to do. To plug Postmates one more time. Or not Postmates. Fuck. My fucking brain, dude. Usually I do show notes. I kind of just went off the cusp on this one. Let's check this shit out. So, to plug my Patreon again, here's what we're going to do. Oh, fuck. Dude, what the hell, man? I'm so sorry. Like, I'm just having one of those days where I can't keep my brain on a single track at all. Like I don't know what it is. Like lately I'm just like I feel overloaded. But that's the thing, I know I shouldn't. I'm really not overloaded, but I feel like there's just so much. All right. Oh yeah, Patreon. Okay, so at the $1 goal, I'm going to set up a Google Voice phone number where people can leave a voicemail. So once we hit $1, I will set that up, and so you can basically anyone and everyone that wants to call in towards the last third of the show, it'll be like the whole viewer engagement thing. We'll take so you can leave you'll have the, and if you're on the Patreon, you'll get the phone number, and you can call in, leave a voicemail. You can make a comment, you can ask a question, anything and everything you want, and then we'll fucking play all the ones that came in that week on that week's podcast. That's the plug for that. But the plug for everybody, regardless of who the fuck you are, I'm going to put this email in right now. It's z.valormedia@gmail.com. Put in your questions. I specialize in relationship questions. I specialize in life advice and stuff like that. Those are the kind of things, like just to come up with something off the top of my head. I've kind of been doing that as I've gone on. I've kind of put as much advice as I can out in the world, but the actual questions that you guys have that you guys want answered, if you want to hear your voice in the show, go ahead and throw that on fucking Patreon. If you want to put your donation in on Patreon, I'll get the fucking voicemail thing set up so the next week if there's any Patreon donations by that point, you guys can go for it. Just fucking leave the voicemails. I might, for all I know, I could have an entire fucking podcast, hour long, of just fucking me doing voicemail fucking shit. It'd be fucking interesting. But if you guys want to just test the waters and kind of see what I got to say about your issues, the more specific you are about your issue, the better I can give advice. If you're super vague, I just have to assume. And you know what happens when you assume? My mama always told me this. You make an ass out of you and me. And I'm not a fucking ass. So I'll just make up shit if you're not specific enough. I'll assume stuff. I'll become a total fucking ass. All right. So z.valormedia@gmail.com. Put your questions, life advice, relationships, or just a nice big fuck you, MaceValor. Whatever. I don't care. That'd be great. That'd be dope. That's the best email contact for the podcast. I might change it in the future, but as of right now, that's going to be the one. So because there is no actual questions going on, no questions this time around. What we're going to do instead, if I can find it, is we are going to look at comments on my YouTube page. Now, normally I use Chrome. I prefer Chrome. All my stuff is linked up in fucking Chrome. But here's the fucking shit that irritates the hell out of me. So on another computer, I set up notifications, right? No. I set up notifications. So like Facebook would give me notifications and all that shit through Chrome. And after a while, it just got real fucking annoying because, I get updates about like stupid shit. Like, oh, so-and-so posted this. I'm not, like, they're my friend, but I'm not following them. Why am I? That's just Facebook's way of getting you to go back and look at your Facebook. Spend more time on Facebook. And that shit's fucking annoying. So I switched over to Brave, and I don't have the same notifications. But Brave is set up to where it'll hold my password information, but it won't keep me signed in. So every time I go to any of my like heavily trafficked websites or anything like that, I have to re-sign in every fucking time. And yeah, it has my password and everything, but with Chrome, I would sign into Chrome and I'm already still logged in. I don't have to fuck with anything. So mainly because of that one fact, it's convinced me enough to leave Chrome and go back, or leave Brave and go back. I do like the Brave browser. I fucking love it. I just can't use it because it doesn't keep me signed in. So I've had to go to Chrome, but every time I use Chrome, it's just like ding, 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 ding. It's like, and I can't turn the notifications off. Like I've literally gone in, I've tried to turn them off. It just doesn't fucking work. Oh, check this shit out. Okay, so the video that I posted earlier this week, Rethink, because I do the Rethink videos every now and then, military wives and rank. Oh my god. Yeah, so I came across the video on Facebook. The same person that did the whole pyramid scheme thing, she actually shared it. So I went on and was like, okay, I'm going to essentially react to this because there's a few things in that video when I first saw it that I really wanted to touch on. And honestly, that video should not exist. That was my fault. I did not actually, like, the video was fake. Basically, the person that was in that video was playing a character, and yeah, I kind of feel like an asshole for doing this. For kind of making a video where I was talking shit about this person, but did not know that it was fake and it was a character and it was a parody thing. I keep all my videos up. The only ones I delete are like live streams that are just boring and that I did on YouTube. I get rid of those, but I leave everything up. And Rethink Military Wives. The message I give in that video, I agree with it 110%. The video itself, though, it is rather tasteless, and it's bad on my part that I didn't research to figure out the person in that video does video content like this a lot, and so yeah, here's my official apology to that person. You convinced me very well. It's my bad I didn't do the research to figure out that this is kind of what you do. Great content. You fucking fooled me. No comments on it. One person did comment on it, and they had this long ass thing, but then they got rid of it. So I couldn't even like I got the notification in YouTube, but I can't see what the comment was because it was the person deleted it. But yeah, so nothing bad. Oh yeah, and I'm still striked, so I still can't live stream, and I'm under 1,000 subscribers, so I can't monetize my channel, but it's fine. So now I'm just waiting for my last payment from YouTube. Whenever that happens. Whenever that happens. All right, so we're going to go to community. Let's take a look. So I get a lot of. Oh, man. Nothing has changed from when I got out in 2008. What a shame. What a shame. I'm glad I do not serve anymore. So that's basically why I left the Army video. I get a lot of people commenting on it. Like, here's another guy. This guy's a quitter. He will be a quitter for the rest of his life, and he will always blame others. I'm glad he's out of the Army. You bring everyone down. That's the thing. So a lot of the people that comment on that video, I don't think they actually watch the entire thing. I would say why I left the Army video. I would say in like the first third of it. I wouldn't even say like the first half. Like the majority of it's different, but like the first third, I I am relatively negative about my stance because it had been some time since I was out and I had some time to reflect on it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I'm out. I mean, there are some times I look back and it's like my life would be totally different if I stayed in, but I'm really glad that I was out. I bitch, I moan, I complain, but at the end of the day, I love fucking being in the Army. I just knew it wasn't for me. And it has nothing to do with me being a quitter. I just knew that, hey, like, there are so many people that the Army is designed for them, for their personalities, for who they are. The Army just fucking works. It doesn't work for me because it's not like, oh, well, the Army needs to change. No, 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 no. The Army doesn't need to change. The Army has actually changed too much. The Army should actually fucking be that hardcore shit that it used to be back in the day. It's gotten way too soft now, in my opinion. It's like, I know me, and it's the time I did was more than enough. I'm glad that I served, but at the end of the day, it's just not, it doesn't work for me. That lifestyle does not work for me. Being away from my family and all that shit. Yeah, you want to call me a quitter for fucking getting out with my primary reason being the fact that I wanted to be closer to my family, closer to my son. Yeah, sure, fine. And that's in that sense, I guess I'm a fucking quitter. But at the end of the day, the real reason why I got out is the two universes just weren't working together. That's the TLDR. I mean, I can go into the whole toxic fucking NCO leadership and shit, but that's it's over and done with. It's a world I'm no longer a part of, but I still encourage people to join the military, any form of the military. Honestly, it's really gonna like if you're young and you just have no real direction in life, join the fucking military. Just do your 2 years, even 2, 3, 4 years. That shit goes by fucking quick. It goes by super super fast. Uh, I'm telling you, it's one of the best things you can do with your life. Not just because of the benefits you get when you get out, but just fuck, man. Just you get to see shit that you get to experience things you've never experienced before. So here's my advice to the young people watching that are thinking about, oh well, maybe with the military. What about the military? Send your questions and for advice on whether or not you should do it with specifics to z.valormedia at gmail.com, and I'll help you out. No, but seriously though, I'm telling you, get in, save your fucking money. I'm not saying that you live so frugal you don't have any fun ever. Save some fucking money. I was a fucking dumbass, dude. So I got a car when I first got in. It's an old piece of shit. It was a Nissan Maximum. It was like a 94, 96, something like that. Like this thing was fucking hot garbage. Like, I mean, it ran for what about like 3, 4 months, maybe, and it eventually got to the point where it barely even drive. And I was looking at getting a new car anyway. There was no radio. The like you would imagine that your heater would work because that's just your engine getting hot, but something was wrong with how the ducts or whatever in the car, like for the air, it just wouldn't fucking work. I guess like the fan or whatever. So I could like it was fucking up in Fort Drum, so I was always cold as shit because the heater didn't fucking work in the car. Um, the none of the windows would roll down, and bizarre, but it's cold as fuck, so I'm kind of glad that it didn't. So I would have to prop it up, or it was propped up with a fucking butter knife to kind of like wedge it in and keep it up. The car was garbage. But I ended up getting rid of it. And my dumbass, because I wanted a new car and didn't mind payments, I got an allotment for this this Hyundai Elantra, and my credit wasn't even that bad at the time. I was a kid, I didn't have any credit established, so I went and got on the miles program, which is one of the biggest fucking scams you could ever do, because you're gonna pay way more for your car than you really should. Um, when I was young and dumb, like there was this place where would get a TV now and just lease it. So what for the time, the TV that I got was maybe $400 or $500. At that nowadays, that same TV was probably worth fucking $100. I'm brand new, not even considering like what it's worth for the secondhand market. I ended up selling it a few years ago, but I got this fucking TV and I was paying $100 for it per month because they had marked it up so much. And me, it's like, oh well, I guess I could go buy a new TV, but if I pay monthly payments on it, see, my credit wasn't good enough to get like a Best Buy credit card or something like that, which is far more easier to deal with than those scam places at the mall. And these places would pop up and pop down all the time. They would pop up for 4 or 5 months, get a whole bunch of military guys to sign up for it, and then they just fucking bounce. And I just, it just took the allotment off after a while, and it never showed up in my credit report. I ended up spending like what, $700 on that piece of shit. Okay. Well, fuck it. I got a delivery. So we're actually going to go do that. I'm going to call the podcast here. I'll just fucking edit it when I get back, and it'll be up some fucking time tonight. As always, this has been your oh so beloved and glorious MaceValor. Sorry it's been all over the fucking place, but shit happens. Leave some comments in the comment section down below if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching, or listening, I should say, on SoundCloud. All right, fantastic, awesome. Welcome to the fucking club. Check me out on YouTube, MaceValor. And if you're not, join on Patreon if you want to contribute to the success of this channel and increase production quality and all that jazz. Links, as always, in the description down below. I live stream every night on Twitch at 8 o'clock, and that is MaceValor as well. Like I said a million times before, links in the description, links in the description, links in the description down the fuck below. As always, you're so glorious, MaceValor, and I am signing off.